This is Raga, and welcome back to the channel. As always, like and subscribe. You can ask questions in the comments, and you can like the repository on GitHub. We are going to continue building our app, and what we're going to do today is start working on the profile block. Now, the profile block is very important because partly on that page of the profile block, which I'll be showing you in a bit, is where we get the what's it called? It calculates the distance away from our interest, our love interest in this case, the person we're interested in. So, for example, because the current user that I'm using right now on the simulator to the left is was made on the same simulator and this other account. So the distance is 0 kilometers away, right? Yeah, it's 0 kilometers away. But if it is another user, let's see if we can get another user. Maybe they'll be a bit further. And okay, seems like everyone is 0 kilometers. We're not getting anyone who is farther away. But yeah, this one is, yes, I made this on another simulator. And this one is 15,449. As you can see, there are no limits to the matching, only the interest that matches. So yeah, so that's what we're going to be working on, the page. Now let me show you the page. If we can come here and log out from our app like so, and we come down here to creating a new account. After creating the account, we already built up the sign up page, so let's call it trials@gmail.com, like so. We come here and in the password section we type in our password. We could say type in the password. Yeah, just hit sign up, ignore the validation, and it takes us to this page here, right? And this page will allow us to set the profile, where you can set your name, you can enter your birthday, and remember with the birthday you have to be at least 18 to use this app. So yeah, you have to be at least 18 to use this app, and you can set your gender, whether you're male, female, or transgender. What you're looking for, you're male, female, or transgender, and then you can hit save. The button is disabled until we come to that point. So basically, we're going to be building that over the next few videos. And as always, the first place to start with is the block. We have to start with the user repository and set up the information about creating a user. We haven't created a user, we've only created authentication, right? And that's what we're going to do next. Being shown by the simulator earlier, I don't know, maybe there was an error or something, is this photo, this profile photo. And this profile photo is a placeholder that allows you, when you click on it, to select a photo from the simulator, right? So it comes here, you come here, and we'll install the packages required to do all these things and go over them. And but since we're dealing with the block right now, we won't install them now. We'll install them in the next videos. So we come here and we pick a photo, and you could pick maybe this one, and it will show it there. And you enter your name, you enter your birthday, you enter your interest, who you are, your interest, and you hit save. And the save button, as always, is disabled until every single value is included, and then after that you get the snack bar and you log in, right? So basically that is that. And I could also show you the back end, right? This is our app, right, currently, and as you can see, we only have authentication for the test account that we made, I believe, the last time. We're going to be adding users to the storage, right? So you could come here to the storage, and although you could change the rules, you could do something like delete this. We always make our requests to store stuff after authorization. So if you want to do this, you can publish, which is fine, but you can also undo this, and this is also correct. Since we are authorizing and then storing values. And if you want to look at how the values of this image will be stored in the database, we could go to the this hanging this current simulator is running the old build of what I did, which is hanging. So if we click on this and we come to the storage, you can see how the data is stored. The data is stored, these are the messages and these are the user photos. Now the user photos are stored according to the ID, your UID, right? So if you click on the UID, you get the image, and the image is going to be, and we are not compressing, which is not something good. You should compress because especially if you are in production, because it will take less time to download the pictures and also send the pictures along, and it will also not cost a lot of you pay, I believe there's some services where you pay per megabyte and some you pay by access. So this is a really big photo, and ideally we should make the photos as small as possible. We could use a compression, we could compress the images, but I felt that adding compression is yet another thing to do, and I felt that it would go out of our way, and we should concentrate. Besides, this is not a production level app, so we're not going to add compression, but you could do it. But yeah, so they're going to be stored, the images are going to be called the basic UID, right? Like yeah, so you see it also takes time to look at the image because it's so big. And remember on Firebase we only have 1 gigabyte, right? That's why we should compress if you're going to use a lot of images. I believe in the next one I plan to make another series where I might use compression. I will also use Firebase, but I will use Provider, which is a more popular solution. Anyway, I've talked enough. Now let's go and create our various blocks on our app. And first things first, I'd like to direct you to the user models. And in the user models, we'll find what our user, when we create a profile, should have. Should have the UID, that's a unique identifier, the name, the gender, the person they're interested in, the sex of the person they're interested in, the photo, the timestamp, which will be used to calculate their age. As you notice, you have to be 18 to join our app, and where they are, the geopoint location. We'll be implementing this in another video, but now we're going to do the block. But before the block, we have to go to the user repository screen, and in the user repository screen, we are going to set up a method in our class that will work with Firestore and I believe Firestorage to set up a profile in the Firestore database, in the Firebase database. So we come here, we had put a comment here saying profile setup, and here we could say profile setup, which will be future, will not return anything. You can say void there. Profile setup, I think I've ballsed up the spelling there. Profile setup, and then we do this. Yeah, and after that we are going to say we're going to have a photo of type file, a string, or rather a user ID, which will be a string, a name which will also be a string of type name. The gender is going to be a string, so we could say gender, and a string of the interested in. The age is going to be a date time. Age, we could make this small letter. Interested in. the age is going to be daytime, and their location is going to be a geo point, which is location. Oh, why is the P here capitalized? Let's just put it like profile setup, like that. The geo point is going to be a location like so, and this is going to be, why is this complaining? I think we need to import that.io like so, and afterwards it's going to be an async method, of course, because we're going to wait for Firebase. So you could say here async, and after that let me just open my, it's a bit hot. Note one thing in our app that is going to happen is after you set your photo, you're not going to be able to change it. So we're going to put it, it's going to be a one-off, right? There is not going to be much in the way of editing a user's profile. I didn't include user editing profile. Yeah, I just didn't include it. So once you set it up, it's going to be the photo that we use for the entire period of time, right? So to upload files to Firebase, you need first, as you have seen here, you need a reference you need a reference to it, and also the same to Firestore, right? So first thing, we could create a variable, we could call it storage upload task, and this is going to be of type, storage upload task, like so. And I think we need to import the Firestore, no, Firebase storage, right? Why isn't this coming up? Do we have the storage? Did we install the storage? Let me just, okay, I think we did. Import library Firebase storage. We did. I remember putting everything to do with Firebase. Although we have not installed the geolocator that will be used here. Since we are not doing it in this video, working with the geolocator in this video, we can do it in the next video, right? So yeah, we do that, and then we come here and we say, this is going to be, we get an instance of the Firebase storage. For that we say storage upload task equals Firebase storage. It's called not Firestore storage, Firebase storage dot instance, and we get a reference to it. We can come down here so that you can see better. .ref, like so. Since we're working in this, we could just give ourselves more real estate. .ref, and then we give it the folder that we're going to put the photos in. Here we'll call it just user photos. So we could say dot, that's the cascade operator. Let's just say .child, and in it we put the user, we could call it user photos, like so. Yeah, and after that we put a dot child, and we pass in the user ID, which is going to be a string, as you can see here, right? And then each user will have their own files stored, and the name of the file will essentially be the ID. So we could just say .child, as you saw in the video, user ID, and then to put the file, actually you could just say .put file, and the file is going to be the photo, like so, and then we put a semicolon, right? So basically what we're doing is we're declaring this storage upload task which is going to be an instance of the Firebase storage. And then we are going to create a folder called user photos, and in that user photos we're going to have a folder. Inside the user photos, each user is going to have a folder with the ID as the name, and in that we're going to have a photo with the ID, right? I think I already showed this in data in. Let's go back to storage. Let's go to storage. So user photos, and this is the user ID, right? And then the name of the photo is the user ID. You see OA, is this 0A? So when you come back, see 0A. So that's basically what we're doing. So yeah, and after that, because this is an async, we need an await. So we could say return await storage, let it complete first, storage upload task dot on complete. When it has finished uploading, we could say dot then. As usual, it is recommended that you compress them. I think there is is it image file or something? There is a package that can do compression, but we're not going to do it. Async, we have to get the download URL so that you can put it in Firestore. So we would say await ref, this ref here, then we get the reference to get download URL dot then we take the URL and we can say, oh, sorry, you don't capitalize async, and we create a user on Firestore. We create it because we haven't done anything. We create it on a new collection called users, and we provide the document with the ID coming from the user ID, and then we include all these values into it. So to do that, async, let me just spell async correctly. Async, we could come here and we could say await, and you see Firestore was complaining that it's being unused. We are going to use it now. We could say await Firestore dot collection, and the collection is going to be called users, and the users, on it we're going to put a document. Why isn't it helping me along the way? And we're going to have the user ID, and then we're going to use the set data method, which is going to take a map, right? And what, I think I have an extraneous one. Okay, I think I need another one here. And the data, set data, and then we're going to include the fields. We could have here UID, and that's going to be user ID, comma, photo, no, it's supposed to be a string, right? So it's going to be photo URL, and this is going to be URL, like so. And afterwards we're going to have the name, which is going to be name, the location, which is going to be the location. So basically this is what we're going to put into it. The gender, which is going to be the gender, and the No, sorry, wrong button. Interested in is going to be the interested in, which is going to be the interested in, like so. I thought we already put async here. Oh, it doesn't match as clearly. Okay. I think I've put an extraneous. Where have I put the extraneous comma? I figured out the problem. I had this extraneous brace here, so I could get rid of that brace. It's not required. And also, I noticed that we have 7 fields: photo, username, gender, interested in, age, and location. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And here we only have 6, so we could add the age, and after the age, it's going to be age, like so. So we're going to set the data in Fire. This is Firestore, yeah, Firestore, as a map like this, with this being the keys and this being the values. So yeah, so that's basically that, and I think we are done with the user repository for now. And now we are going to create our block files and set up our profile. We come to block, right click, and we create a new package. We could call it block.profile. We hit OK, and we get a new package here. And here we are going to create a new block generator, a new block, and the block is going to be called profile. Do you want to use equitable? Yes. I think we've been around this a couple of times: authentication, login, sign up. So yeah, so that's what you do. You hit OK, and it will generate the code for you. And we can close this. We can close these 2 files, and we can come to, where is it, the profile. Yeah, and we start with the profile state, the event, the block, and then the block.dart. So we could come here to profile, the profile state, and what we're going to do is we could basically just clean this out, right? And right click, like so, do that, and afterwards we could say class, give ourselves a bit more real estate so it can work. And this is going to be an immutable class, right? I talked about immutability in classes. I think we've done this also. We've done this something like this. Is it in either login or sign up? Yes, we did that in sign up. So basically, yeah. So that's what you're going to do. Basically the same for block. Now it's time just to type a lot. And for that, we would come here and we would say, let's import, I'm waiting for the red circle so that you can import the meta package for the annotation. We could say class pro, what's it called, profile. Class profile state, like so. And it's going to have a couple of fields, final fields. Remember, this is an immutable class, so we could say for bool is photo empty, and we could hit command D. How many do we have? Let me just check my notes. We need about 9 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So yeah. So after that is the next one is going to be is name empty. So you're just going to see me type for a bit here, and I won't explain as much because I think it's more or less we're checking whether the photo is empty, whether the name is empty, whether the age is empty, whether the is gender empty. We are checking whether is interested in empty. We're checking whether their location, we want to know where they are, so it can calculate the distance. Is their location empty? And then is failure, spell it correctly. And after is failure is submitting, we come in and say is submitting, like so. And after submitting, we could say, we could look at success. So basically the form things, same form things, nothing too special. And after that we get a boolean. We could say getter, and we could say is the form valid. We could check if the form is valid, and this is going to be an arrow function, and it's going to check if is photo empty. We could copy this. It's going to check if the is photo empty. Is photo empty and is name empty. Copy this, come here and say, and check whether the age, okay, the age, copy this, come here, whether the age is empty, whether the gender is empty, and whether the interested in is empty. So we could just copy this, copy, come here. Of course we need to put 2 ampersands. Is gender empty and is interested in empty. We can copy this, come here, put 2 ampersands, and so it has to satisfy all that. Put a semicolon, and we come down and we create a constructor and make it required. We could say profile state, like so, and we're going to add at required and say this dot is photo empty, and then command D, it's command D, right? Command D 9 times. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, like so. And this is going to be is success. Let's just go with the suggestions, doesn't have to be in any order. Is what's the next one? Is name. Why isn't it suggesting? Is age empty? Is gender empty? Is interested in empty? Is location empty? Is failure? And is submitting. Yeah, so the reason we are checking the form here, we're not including the location, is because the location will be calculated automatically by the machine. Because I've already passed okay, you will see it. I've already given the permissions here, so when you start it for the first time, you will be asked for permissions, and we'll be doing that in another video. So yeah, so that's just to explain why you're not seeing its location here. So we have done that, and we can put a semicolon here. This is that after all, and then we can create the various factory methods. So we could say here This one is the initial state of the form. We could say factory profile state dot empty, and this is going to be, remember, factory has to return, right? I already talked about the different constructors in another video. I can't remember which one, but yeah, let's go a bit, I think let's go a bit faster. And for that we could say is photo empty. We could say this is going to be false, comma, and we can command D it 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, like so. And the next one is failure. After that is success. After success is submitting, and I remember this is where we made an error in a previous video. So is, yes, it's this mind-numbingly boring repetitions that can trip you up. Is age empty, but you just push through and you get to the desired result. Is gender empty, and is interested in empty, and is location empty, like so. So these are all going to be false at the beginning, right? So we put a semicolon here and we continue, and the next one is going to be loading. So to save ourselves time, we could just copy this. Let's copy this, copy, come down here, do this, and this is going to be profile state does not empty but loading, like so. This is going to be false, false, false. Is submitting will be set to true, and the rest can be safely ignored as false. And after that we can copy this. I explained what this does, and I think the register form, so you can just go there and confirm, and we could check. And this one is going to be failure. This is false. This is failure is true in the failure, right? So say this is true, and I think everything else will be false. Hopefully nothing trips us up this time. And we come here and we copy this, we come down here and we do the same, and this one is going to be success, like so. And this one is going to be success is true. Here success is true, and the rest are false. I just realized that we may not have been copying it. We have been I realized we may have made a mistake. Wait, let me go. Empty, all of them are false. Loading, in loading is submitting is true, so the rest are false. In the failure is true. In the failure is true, the rest are false. In success, success is true. Where is submitting? How bad? Why is submitting true? Is submitting is supposed to be false in the failure. Yeah, basically you can reach into the repository. If you're in the future, you're watching this video, just reach into the repository and copy this so that you can get them all correct. So in the let me just go through them again. This one, they're all false. In the loading, only one of them is true, which is submitting. In the loading, is submitting is true, the rest are false. In the failure is true, failure is true, the rest are false. In success, if success is true, this is false. Is failure, wait, if failure is false. If success is true, is submitting is false. So yes. So after that, we create the update and copy methods, and for that we could say let's just copy this. Save us a bit of time. This is for, we'll use this for our convenience. And this is the profile state, and this is going to be update, and take this and close it like this, and this is going to be a comma, a comma, 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 and now we can get rid of the finals. So I can say this. Perhaps it would just have been easier to type it and then copy it downwards, and we get rid of all the finals. We would have just selected all of them and go at a go, but I'm now in the 9th line. Let me just do it. Okay, and after that is photo empty, is name empty, is age empty, is gender empty, is interested in empty, is location empty, and these other three are not required. So we could do that, and we return this. We return copy with, and here we're going to say is failure false, is success false. So we can just copy here, is failure false, is success false, is submitting false. We could just copy this, copy, come down here, do this, put a semicolon here, and yeah, and after that we can say outside the, okay, after that we could say is failure false, is success false, success, wait, success is supposed to be false, is success here is false, is failure false, is success false, is submitting false, is photo empty, is photo empty, is photo empty will be is photo empty, and is name empty is going to be is name empty, is age empty is age empty, is gender empty is going to be is gender empty, and is interested in empty is that, and is location, like so. Okay, now let's finish. I think there's one more method. Next, after the update, we create the copy with method so that this can stop complaining. So you could say we could just copy this, right? So, and that's the required. So I could just copy this, copy, come down here, do this, and then we can add the three that are not here. Copy with, sorry, copy, why isn't it not copy with, like so, and it's going to complain about this 3, so we could just do command D 1 2 3, and we could say is success empty, is failure empty, and is, what's the one that is missing, is submitting. Like so. And after that we are going to return the profile state. We could just come here and say return, like so, profile state, and we're going to use the null coalescing, not the null aware, yeah, that's the name, null aware. I showed this in a few videos, so you could say is photo empty, is photo empty, and say this dot is photo empty, like so. Yeah, so I explained about how this evaluates, and we could just do this 9 times, I believe. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. No, we're going to do this 10 times, 9 times, yeah, 9 times. So we could say 1 2, there's a 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Yes, and for that we could say is name empty, and we could say is name empty, and this is going to be is name empty, like so. And we type is name empty, and we come here and we can press Alt and Shift and select, wait, come here and we press Alt and Shift, right, and we can click, and this can be location. We can say location, like so. After that we could say interested in, we do the same, and this can be interested in, this can be interested in, like so. And after that we come down here and we do the same, and here this is going to be we do the same here, Alt Shift, and this is going to be, after gender is age, come here, do the same, after age is submitting is submitting empty. Why is this complaining? Am I spelling it correctly? Is submitting empty. Is this dot is submitting empty. Why is it complaining here? Let me just by coming here and saying is submitting, and this is going to be is submitting, and this is going to be is submitting. It's so repetitive, you start forgetting what goes where. Here we say is success, and this is going to be is success, like so. And what's wrong with this? Is success, okay. And this is going to be is failure. Let's just get the failure out of the way and then do the success issue and say this dot is failure, like so. As for why are we getting a problem with the success? Okay. I guess let me just have a look and sort out. So I figured out the problem. We were missing a curly brace here, right? So you put the curly brace, and this is basically it. So yeah, so I've corrected the few errors that was in this, and after this I think we go to, from state we go to event. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do next. We are going to start looking at the event, and yeah, I'm guessing everything here is okay. But yeah, there are a lot of moving parts, so you need to be careful to make sure that everything is as it should be, everything is where it should be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So basically, yeah. So just confirm with the repository that everything is as it should be, so that you don't make any errors as we go forward. Thank you. This is Waga from the future. The video you're watching is part of a longer video, and I decided to split the longer video into two. So we're going to end it there. As always, like and subscribe, leave a comment if you have questions, and you can also start the repository on GitHub. Thank you and have a good day.